What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of FlagPlus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm your host, Brent, Bodkin.
And I'm Quaysie Maule.
All right, so welcome to episode number 2. We have all three women's divisions. We have all three co-eds. We have 5v5 co-ed as well, and of course, intermediate and competitive in the regular 5v5 format. So to kick things off, let's jump over to, I believe we're doing intermediate, right? 5v5.
Yes, sir. And we
All
have
right.
to start that off. We have an upset. No upset, but we have Team Quebec U18 losing their first game of the season versus Flags Don't Lie.
Yeah.
So close game there. They actually beat them. Why does it say? Oh no, sorry. So it's kind of weird because Flags Don't Lie beat Team Quebec 16, 20-19. And then they beat Team Quebec 18, 30-26. And
Yeah.
U18 is way better than U16, so it's kind of funny how they barely beat U16 and then they beat U18. You would think that after barely beating U16, U18 would have won, but unfortunately that did not happen. So they gave Team Quebec U18 their first loss of the season.
Yeah, so I think I said it on the podcast a couple of times, right? Like this season, Team Quebec U16, you're right? 18, the U18 team is better, without a doubt. U16 is good though. It's how many mistakes can those kids stop themselves from making? Talking about U16, right?
Mm.
Talented team, they're deep as well, a lot of speed, a lot of good players in that. It's just they make too many mistakes, especially defensively. So when they're able to limit those mistakes, they're able to hang. And that's what they did with Flags Don't Lie. Firstly, for Team Quebec U16, pardon me, or U18 in this case, losing to Flags Don't Lie. So obviously in that game against U16, obviously they got the win as well. But looking at the Flags Don't Lie game against U18, it's a lot of U's. Yvonne Salama, 5 TD passes in the game, nearly 250 yards. Sam Anasopoulos, 3 TD catches in that game, so he was definitely solid. Vaughn Van Vliet, who's usually a quarterback here in FPF, as a receiver this time, 2 receptions for touchdown, 2 touchdown receptions, sorry, 60 yards receiving. So obviously a good effort offensively for the squad. Sam also added an INT defensively, but he had a big win for Flags Don't Fly in that contest.
Yeah, it also seems that you had Raphael Boas at quarterback, and then you also had Matthew Cooper. So they kind of did a dual quarterback. I'm not sure if Matthew Cooper maybe got hurt. He went 7 for 10, 81 yards, 1 TD, 1 INT, and then Raphael went 11 for 19, 145, 3 TDs. So I know their regular quarterback is Matthew Cooper. So maybe he got hurt that game because they only threw in half of it. I want to say 10 attempts. He probably played I go to maybe half the game. 7
Yeah,
attempts.
that usually happens with these guys. Like the U16 and U18 team, they'll play a quarterback for half the game and then get someone else in there. So speaking to your point though, so that was actually the third and final matchup of the regular season, because earlier this season in week 4, Team Quebec U18 actually beat Flags on Live 36-21.
Mhm.
So this is
Yeah.
the rubber match here that took place on Sunday.
Yeah. So again, really, it's gonna be curious to see how these teams are gonna do during playoffs. Um, Again, we also have. Don't get me wrong. We also have flag vendors too. That's 6-1. So it's gonna be
Mhm.
interesting. I think those three teams are kind of the lead in command. Interesting who's going to be playing who when it comes into the finals, and who plays in semifinals as well too, right? One of these teams are probably going to have to play Red Zone or Hungry Hippos or Team Quebec in the semis. So it could be depending who has the first seed. Right now we have a tie with Team Quebec U18 and Flag Vengers at 6-1. Team Quebec U18 has a tiebreak, so they do get the advantage. If they lose in their game and Flag Vengers end up winning, I'm assuming they're going to play versus each other one more time. So if Flag Vengers could beat them and then end up being the bench warmers, and then Flags Don't Lie, they probably would end up the first seed. Team Quebec would be the second seed, and then it's going to be a point where Flag Vengers will have an easier first matchup for sure versus the 8th seed, but then also semis they should have an easier matchup compared to a same matchup where you have the second seed and the third seed play versus each other.
And I'm glad you brought up Flag Vendors. 3 wins in a row for these guys. They had 2 big wins over like the last week and a bit, right? They beat Green Monster 51-18. Week 9 and week 10, they knocked off Red Zone 33 to 26. And actually, they knocked out Green Monster twice. So they played them twice in
Yeah,
a
back
course
to
of
back.
like
Yeah,
a couple of
well, not back
days.
to back, but Saturday
Yeah,
and yeah. No, they're doing.
yeah.
They're
So
doing.
yeah,
They're on a roll right now. We should have had Team Quebec U18 versus Hungry Hippos tonight, but that game is canceled. So
yep.
instead, for next week, we'll have Hungry Hippos versus Team Football Quebec U16, so not 18, U16, and then Team Quebec U18 is going to be playing versus Flag Vengers, and this game might come down. This game is probably going to be whoever wins this game is probably going to finish as the first seed, depending if flags don't lie.
Yeah,
It's beating Flag Vengers, but I think this game is going to be on. Whoever wins this game, I think is going to have the first seed when coming into playoffs.
yeah. I think that's a pretty safe bet. Looking at the bottom of the standings, so like the bench warmer is 0-7 right now. They haven't played since February 25th. They're off again. It's another bye. Bye is pretty much a month for these guys. Their next game is next Saturday, March 21st. So they have Flag Vengers, Red Zone, and then Football Quebec U16. So we'll see if bench warmers, when they get back in action, they finally get the first W of the
Yeah.
season.
They also, again, everyone makes playoffs as well too, so they're gonna get a playoff game no matter what
Yeah.
either. So maybe upset, maybe not upset, maybe some more football for them for sure. But it's gonna be interesting to see. Let's go to competitive.
Yep.
So competitive 5v5. A lot of things are happening right now.
Yep.
There's a game I do want to talk about. So I got to watch Party Crashers versus Flagmont the Sac. I also got to watch them play versus Norgard as well too. But I got to see Party Crashers versus Flagmont. Very interesting game. I'm not gonna call out any refs. There was a really bad call that wasn't called. 5v5 rules. It, it's different, right? From going for a 6v6 to 5v5, it's a big change. And sometimes some rules kind of slip under the crack where some refs don't do they sometimes they don't know it, but maybe they just don't realize or it's a missed call. So there was a missed call that happened. Because of the missed call, it was the point where Emerson came in as the second quarterback and he ended up throwing a pick where it should have been a legal rush. He threw the ball to one of his receivers. I'm not sure who exactly it was. They ended up basically a player from Flag One ended up like tipping it, ended up being a pick for Alex Nettle Pease. That was a big turnaround in the game. They got the ball back, I think, at the 10-yard line. They ended up scoring and then taking advantage of the game. And then after that, Party Crashers did what they could, but they weren't able to come back, and they ended up losing that game 35-34, making it their first loss of the season. And then they played Norgard, and they just literally just smashed them 33-0. But the fact, I know Party Crashers are trying to go undefeated, so it's the fact it kind of sucks for them. But if that call goes a different way, I'm not saying they win that game, but the score of the game definitely changes.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100% it does.
Yeah, so that's what I kind of saw for week 10. And then we had Flagmore that played Blue Dry. Blue Dry only scored 8 points. Kind of disappointing the fact they only scored 8, but again, a new team kind of getting into their footing in this league. And then No Regard is struggling right now. They're struggling. They actually had something else I want to say. Shout out to Stefan Harpersaw.
Yeah, Steven, some Harper said, yeah. I saw
Yeah,
he made his return.
he
Yeah.
made his return. Shout out to him. But what a bad time to come back and play versus the Party Crashers. I think if you're going to come back out of retirement because he hasn't played for a while, I think the last team you want to play against is a Party Crasher defense because, again, we talked about it with Ben in Division 6. Their Division 5 team is way better. It's the same team. It's just the field is so much smaller. So they're able to move so much faster. So he came in.
Yeah, yeah.
He came in as a sub. He played fine. He threw 6 INTs.
Yeah, that's not funny. It's just scientists is a lot, man.
Yeah, it was all in the red zone. It was to a point where like
Yeah.
the play call was there. It just he underthrew the ball and the guys from Party Crashers just jumped up and they intercepted it. Like he had a couple balls where he had back and end zone in, and it's wide open, and he flicks the ball, and the guy, like let's say a player like I think Emerson got a pick, Mendel got a pick, Kejon got a pick. Like Kejon actually got a pick right off the bat. He went for a go. Kejon just read it, jumped higher than the receiver, and it was that. But like the pick that Fitz got, Fitz, Mendel, and I want to say Jean Slees. Those three picks were just really not bad throws. It's just if those guys weren't as athletic, it would have been a touchdown. There's to a point where they saw the ball in there and they just jumped up and they grabbed it. But not a lot of guys could they don't have not a lot of guys are that athletic, but these guys are, So
yeah,
it was nice to see. It was nice to see Harper back. We again. It's to a point where the format of 6v6 didn't benefit him as much. The fact that the first down is midfield and his offense is really drop and dump, kind of like 3 yards. The fact that he has to get 20, I think it's 25 or 20 to get a first down and change his whole play calling, and it's different for his game, right? So it was nice to see him back. Unfortunately, I'm sure it didn't go as well as he wanted it to be. But again, you have to realize it's Party Crashers have been doing a great job this year, and they're showing everyone why they're the best defense in FPF right now. So I
yeah,
just like to give a little shout out there, and hopefully, like if it wasn't the Party Crashers, I'm sure he would have had a better game. But it was the Party Crashers.
yeah. Well, so to Steven's credit, so he actually unretired 2 days before that. So this game you're talking about with the Party Crashers was Saturday on the 7th. He actually played in Division Two on Thursday. He played with Idaho Utica, so he filled in for Brady, and they beat Flag Slayer Corp 46-26. So Steven had 234 yards passing and 6 TDs. So it was great in that game, just not so much with the against the Party Crasher. It's two different teams, and again, you're playing against no regarded team that has struggled. Period, offensively. Yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, hopefully we'll get to see Steven more. I mean, a great dude. I won my last championship actually. I think he was my quarterback. So I mean, like a great dude, stand-up guy, team leader. Hopefully we'll see him more in FPF. If not this winter season, definitely hopefully in the spring.
Going to week 11, so we have 6 games. Any games kind of like are sticking out to you, or any games you're kind of interested in watching, or any games that are?
Yeah, I mean. I briefly, so let's talk about the game that I saw briefly. I score kept the Procs in their win over Blue Dry 10.1. That's a close game, and in the second half, just mistakes like missed throws and drops and turnovers by Blue Dry kind of sealed their fate. Pardon me, is what I'm trying to say here. I don't know why I said fight. Looking this coming week, so I want to see how they react, how they bounce back. They have a tough matchup against Montreal Magic. 9 p.m. this Saturday at Stade Bear. So I want to see how Blue Dry can bounce back. Because there was times in that game where it felt like it was going to be close, and then just their defense, they couldn't hold in the Procs and offense. Shout out to Stephen Quaysie, who played a phenomenal game. He really sliced and diced up the Blue Dry defense, especially over the intermediate, like the middle part of the field. Blue Dry 10.1, pardon me, doesn't have any answers for him. So even tougher matchup against Montreal Magic, but we'll see what happens.
I'm really curious to see. So just looking at the standings right now, Blue Dry 1-6, right? They only have one game. They play their last 2 games. The last 3 games is Montreal Magic twice. Depending on the roster for Montreal Magic, because that's also something to kind of talk about. They're struggling on their roster. I think they're missing a lot of guys, and they just don't look the same. They don't look like the same Montreal Magic team. So hopefully they can fix it up for playoffs. But they should get the wins on Blue Dry. But then we have No Regard versus. Well, I don't see No Regard winning against Raw Dogs next week, and then they play Blue Dry week 10 or week 14 for whatever. It's their 10th game. That game is going to be really interesting because the winner of that game makes playoffs. The loser doesn't. So that's literally going to be a playoff game. And it's the 2 teams that are at the bottom, the 2 teams that are struggling. So it's going to be interesting to see how both the teams who's going to show up, who's going to be there, because it's going to be a point where the group chats are going to be like, "Hey guys, you win, you're in. You lose, you're out." So I
Yeah,
think
that's it. That's it.
both rosters are going to show up for that game. I think it's at 6 p.m. It's at 6 p.m. April 4th in Brossard. So I think that's going to be a. I know I'm going to be there. That's gonna. I think that's gonna be
I
a
think
good.
yeah, we'll be telling. Let me come check it out. Why not? Why
That's
not?
gonna be
All right.
a good game to see.
All right. Cool. So top of it. So let's do code 5v5.
Oh no. Yeah. Let's do. Yeah, we do code 5 5.
Cool. So last week there's a couple of games that went on last week. Three to be exact. Two out of the three were blowouts. So Airbuds losing 33-24 to Gundam. And then Spicy Braves looks like a forfeit. Let me double check here. Spicy Braves, yep, losing 30-0 via forfeit to Airbuds. And then Flamand de Croix blowing out Team Rocket by a score of 42-24. So obviously we don't need to talk about the blowout or the forfeit, but a surprise that Spicy Braves forfeit the game. But Airbuds and Gundam, what can you tell me about that?
So I played in that game.
Yep.
Gundam's playing good. I think they're on a 3-game win streak now. I just want to go back to see their schedules. So they played Flag de Moqua. They beat them 40-29. So that's a big game. 40-29 is a big game for them. Then they played Team Rocket. They beat them 45-20. Then they beat Airbuds 33-24. So right now they're on a roll. And they're smart. They kind of play like a 3 quarterback system. Jean Slee started. Tam played in the red zone, and they had Samuel, aka Gucci, come in as a double quarterback. So Jean Slee was able to run if he ends up throwing the ball back to them. So they had a good game plan. We had a slow start. At halftime, I think it was like 6-20 or something like that. They had a good start on us, and then we're pretty much playing catch up. And that's pretty much it. They had a good start. Play catch. I had a lot of drops too. I think I dropped the ball like 5 times. Like I'm looking at the stats. I went five
Yeah,
for
yeah.
10, and I had 10 targets, and they were actually targets. They just hit my hand and they just fell. So that was also on me too. I didn't play the best. I didn't play the best of the game, even though I had 2 TDs and a pick six.
At 6, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, to add on to my record. There you go. It's extra one there.
You pick off Gucci or you picked off Tam?
I picked off Tam on the 1 yard
Okay.
line. Yeah, it was.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, undercutted the ball.
40-yard
But
run back. Okay.
yeah, to be honest, I didn't want to run it back. I was actually laughing with Tam because we were hanging out because we had 2 games that day, right? So we were hanging out after Loyola. We went to Montreal Yardie, the Jamaican spot to eat food.
Oh yeah. How was that? How was that place?
It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I had,
I gotta
they
check it
actually
out.
have a thing. They have an oxtail patty.
Nice.
They have
Yeah.
an
Okay.
oxtail.
Listen. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna
They
tell
have
you. I'm gonna tell you. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on.
yeah, they have an oxtail patty. It was good, but no, it was cool. So I was hanging out with Jean Slee, Gucci, Tam
Mm-hmm.
because they're playing my Division 2 game, and then we went to
Yeah.
Loyola. We went to Brossard after, but yeah, I know. I had a bad game. I had a bad game. They had a good game, and again, I told you they're on a roll. They beat Flagmois. I think that's a big game for them. Being able to score 40 on like one of the top teams, only allowing to have 29. So we kind of knew they were on a streak. We were missing Anthony Brizois, and then we're also missing Jamal Noel as well. So we're missing our rusher, and we're
Okay.
missing again. Anthony Brizois is pretty much a shutdown corner. It's the reason why right now
Oh
he's
yeah.
on Team Canada.
Yeah.
So it does affect us. No excuses as well. I mean, again, if I was able to catch a few of the balls, maybe the game would have been changed. But they were definitely the better team going into that game.
Yeah. Well, you got the win, right? So that counts. So,
Um,
so to get back to that, so oxtail patty. So it's hard to find that in Montreal. So I'm glad you found a spot. As you know, last week I was in Toronto. That's why I came back halfway through the podcast last week. I was watching my Knicks against the Raptors. Shout out to my Knicks getting the W. First time watching the Knicks in person. So I was like, it's super awesome. Thanks to Mokan. Mokan has a cousin named Shahid who has like season tickets to the Raptors fans. So he sold me his tickets at like a pretty discounted price too on top of it. So I was like 10 rows behind the Raptors bench. It was dope. Rather be behind the Knicks bench, but whatever, it's all good. Knicks won, so I'm happy. I went to a spot called the Entertainment. I'm gonna give them a plug, the Entertainment Kitchen. And there's a spot in Toronto, so it's in Little Jamaica. It's like kind of like a whole block. And there's a spot called Randy's that I've heard about for patties. Everyone talks about it. It was just good. I went there. I got some cowfoot soup, and I got some patties from there. But I was walking by, and this guy came up the shop and was like, "Hey man, come through here. $5 for whatever you want." I'm like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna come through." So I went to the spot, the Entertainment Kitchen. I don't know if you can see it on my phone right now, but okay, it's not gonna work.
Back up a bit.
Yeah. Uh, I'll send you the pictures. A shameless plug for these guys. But and I went to the spot and it was like, so they had oxtail patties. So they oxtail patties, they had regular oxtail like with rice and peas. Anything you wanted, not patties. Anything you wanted for $5, the patties for three. Anything in the store for $5. I was like, you know what?
That's crazy.
I was gonna have the patties for lunch that I got from Randy's, but I was like, let me get some dinner too. So after we finished the podcast last week, I had some oxtail with an oxtail patty as well for dinner. I'm gonna send it to you, Ali Reza, in our group chat here. And yeah, these guys are great. It's kind of came in, so it was like on a Tuesday, so it was kind of like we got there about 12 before we hit the road. So during the lunchtime rush, but didn't have to wait that long, and anything in the store was $5, fine by me. Anyways, yeah, that's my osteopathy is good stuff.
But, no, it was Tam enjoyed it. I had the oxtail plate and I have the patties, but Tam looked like it was a great time. He had two of them too, but
Oh
no,
yeah,
it was good. So kind of just looking at the schedule. Again, everyone makes playoffs, but I feel like everyone's gonna want to play versus Team Rocket going first round. No disrespect to
yeah,
them,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is
but I
what it
feel
is.
like it's the best matchup. Braves unfortunately had to forfeit 2 games against us because first of all, they're men, they're males, their guys are part of Team Canada as well, so they weren't there. And then their 3 females on the team were also part of Team Canada, so they were gone at camp this literally weekend,
Right.
last week. So they had to do 2 forfeits. So we get the tiebreak against them. I mean, it is what it is. It happens. And then we're 6-3. FlagPlus 6-2. So FlagPlus will probably get the #1 seed. We'll probably get the 2 seed depending on tie breaks, and then so on. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see for playoffs. Again, after the first seed, 1 versus 8, I think it's anyone else's game. Nice to meet you again. That's Ben's team. They've been struggling a bit, but I think they're just going to get better. ATs and
Yeah.
dummies again. The team that's they've been up and down. Gundam right now are on a streak. Maple Syrup, veteran Marcus Reeves. He dominated in co-ed 6v6, doing a great job in 5v5 with basically most of his core. You add when you add the Pidon brothers, literally all 3 of them now. I think that's kind of scary to see. It'd be more scary if you pit 5. It was 5 years ago. I think it'd be disgusting. But again, they didn't lose. They didn't really lose a step. So they definitely know what they're doing. The reason why they're 5-2 right now. So playoffs going to be interesting to see. Looking at the schedule for week 11. So we only have 2 games. We have Maple Syrup versus Nice to Meet You, and then you have Team Rocket versus Nice to Meet You. So Nice to Meet You could definitely get 2 wins here, which is definitely going to help them put some confidence on Ben and a little confidence going into week. I think their next game is going to be week 13, and then they have week 15. So, but 2 wins definitely for them. Even 1 win will bring some confidence in them. Right now they're 1-5. If they could sneak 2 wins here on the Sunday and the Monday, that'd be definitely something that they're going to want. And then I think that's it for go ahead.
Yeah, cool. All
Let's
right,
go
so let's hop
to
over to you want to
other women's.
do?
So
Sorry,
we can do women's or co-ed, co-ed or women's.
let's go co-ed 3. Let's do some co-ed. So
co-ed 3.
Yeah, so just waiting for the schedule to pop up here. Yeah, so this week for co-ed 3. Yeah, so we have. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna go sim because I got to see some of these games. I got to see Shadow Squad versus Pick Artist. Pick Artist.
Go for it.
Pick Artist did a good job. They actually had a sub come in as their quarterback for this week because they're missing their regular quarterback. He did a good job. I believe he's a quarterback from St. Anne. So the people that's in Lachine. His name is Ludovic Leneville.
Oh,
He had
Lenville, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he had a good game. 14 for 25, 84 yards. He did, to be honest, he didn't have to do much. He didn't have to
Okay.
do as much. His defense was doing fine. He got the ball to his main receivers when they needed it. He ran when he had to run. He had 4 attempts, 59 yards, 1 TD. He felt comfortable. Shadow Squad. At first, they started rushing with I don't remember the female's name, but they had a girl rushing at first, and then the second half they kind of adjusted. I thought that was gonna maybe help them a bit more on changing the rush. It did a bit, but again, Ludovic still felt pretty comfortable. He was making the reads when he had to make the reads, and that's the reason why they
Okay.
won 12. And then Shadow Squad didn't score in the second half. They struggled. They struggled the first half a bit. They still kept it close. I feel like at halftime it was anybody's game. Could have went either way. In the second half, they just looked not dead, but there was no umph going into the second half.
Okay, yeah.
So I think that was one of their
Yeah.
biggest issues. Yeah. So I got to kind of
Okay.
watch that game of it.
Uh, yeah, looking for. I mean, I know it's supposed to be a game tonight. Sacks appeal against the Hail Mary Poppins. Uh, that's obviously not going to happen because of the weather outside. So we'll have to see when that match will get redone, or when it'll be
Yeah,
done.
we're gonna find out.
On again. Sorry, it's been a long
Um,
day. Yeah, this coming week though we have 5 games starting Saturday. Five of them, sorry, out of the 5 games, 4 of them are on Saturday. Shot Squad, Les Vieux New, Vicious and Delicious, Catch My Ball, Show Me Your TDs, Hail Mary Poppins, Hot Dogs against Pick Artists, and then Sunday, Shaquille Oatmeal against the One and Niners. I had a chance to score keep the game this past weekend. Sunday, I believe it was. Yeah, it was Sunday at Brassard. It was Show Me Your TDs, a 36-18 victory over Les Vieux New. I know we talked about it before we went to air. One of the guys from Levian knew, I believe it was, Philippe Clement, the Russian number 17. His knee popped. He was chasing the quarterback in that game. I was trying to get the quarterback's name. The quarterback in that game was Billy Buntonis, I believe they pronounced that. Yeah, Buntonis. 4 TD passes. This guy, so one thing again, so for Philippe Clement again, hopefully speedy recovery, man. His knee popped right away. He went down, like he was grabbing his knee and writhing in pain. You hate to see that. So speedy recovery for him. Obviously, surgery is going to be in his future. Unfortunately, I will say though, shout out to their team, Le Vieux. They had ice packs ready to go. Like they had about 3 or 4 ice packs on their sideline ready to go. The team came prepared. I've been saying forever, we as scorekeepers, we need to be provided with ice packs. It's a good idea. We can't rely on the facilities because sometimes the people that work at the facilities aren't around when you need them. So a team like that being smart and having ice packs, they brought the guy to the bench. Shout out to Ryan McNally, he was playing with One Stop, went in the higher divisions. He saw what happened. He went onto the field and helped the guy up back at the bench as well. But yeah, so his season is done, unfortunately. But a couple of things that stood out to me from this game quickly, because I know we got to go quick. Some of the players, like from so Billy Buntonis, sorry, but Buntonis, that's how I'm gonna pronounce it. 4 TD passes in the game. He ran only 16 yards, but what he did is he did a good job of keeping plays alive for his team. And he was rolling. He started off the game rolling only to his right and then throwing some decent passes to the end zone. Some of them felt complete, some of them got caught. But then he started using more of the field. He started rolling to his left. He started using the entire field. And that's when his team started to pull away a bit in that second half, at least points wise and offensive wise, as they shut out Lake Unit 12-0 in the second half. But I came away impressed. Some of the ladies on the team for that side were making some plays. Hennessy O'Ray. So I had a chance. I had seen him the week before playing with this very same team. It's a team of co-workers. He was putting up some stats. He had 2 touchdowns in the game. He was doing his thing, kind of dominating. I had a chance to talk to him after as a former John Abbott player. But shout out as well on a losing effort to Levier New. I came away from that game really impressed. I'm going to call it a couple of players. So Alexandra Ladouceur. She has to be one of the toughest players, not female, just one of the toughest players, period, I've seen. She was trucking people, but not, she got one penalty, but she wasn't like knocking people over with elbows and that. She was just like, she got a pick in that game and she just like went through the receiver, didn't get a penalty, but she just kind of out muscled the guy for the ball and it was clean play. There was no flag on the play. She was just aggressive. She had kind of like a scowl on her face most of the game. I came really impressed. Like she was balling hard. Catherine Botuk, the quarterback from this team, like she's tough. Like she was making some big time throws. I came way impressed with her. And there was a girl on the team as well, Sandra Clement. She made a couple of nice grabs and she was tough too. She went through some, but she got trucked and then she trucked somebody else. And I was like, I respect this team. They're scrappy. I respect Le Villeneuve, the scrappy team. I like them. I like them.
Nice. You mentioned you mentioned sorry, you mentioned Alexandra. Um,
Not the sir.
yeah, she's also, I believe she used to play for the Wildcats, right? For women.
I believe so. 'Cause I saw her name and I was like, I know her from like I've seen her play in the league before. I just couldn't think of the team, but now since I have it up, I will look to find out exactly where she played. But I came way impressed with her the most out of all the players in that contest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Like
it's
she was just
Wildcats.
going
And
hard.
usually she's a stud receiver over there, so I'm not surprised what you're saying. Going just kind of going to the schedule with the kind of games that are left, especially for playoffs, right? There's 20 teams, only 14 make it. So we're coming down the last stretch where you have Licious and Delicious that have won I think they won their last game versus Shadow Squad. So that's a huge win for them because that puts them still in a race at 2-5 in the fifth seed right now, and they have a favorable matchups. They play Catch My Balls that right now are struggling, and then they play Seta de Kip. I think they're not doing too bad. They're 4-4, and then they finish off their last game versus Show Me Your TDs, which are 2-5. So they definitely are able to kind of come out of here and make a playoff push and get into playoffs with two of the last three games where they're pretty much winnable. I think Cash My Balls and Sila Kip. I think those are, sorry, Cash My Balls and Show Me Your TDs is two teams where they should be able to compete against them against instead of Sila Kip where it might be a bit more difficult. So it's going to be interesting thing. Also, Show Me Your TDs is also a team that also needs to win. So Delicious versus Delicious, Show Me Your TDs can be should be a good game. And then you have like Fatties, One Niners, stuff like that are also right now they're in the third and the 14th seed. But if they get a couple more losses and then those teams that I just mentioned get a couple more wins, we can have a big turnaround. It's going to be interesting to see for the playoffs what's actually going to happen. We're going into week 11, right? Week 11.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
going into week
Yep.
11. So a lot of games are going to start to matter, and it's going to be a point where week 13 we're going to kind of have a clear picture of who's in, who's not, or who's going to be playing for a playoff spot and who's not going to be playing for a playoff spot. So it's going to be interesting to see it's going to be interesting to see how the next couple of weeks are going to go.
Yep.
Let's go to
But
question.
what game stands out to you for next week?
Oh, sorry, I had it here. So next week I have so there's two games. Delicious and Delicious versus Cash My Balls.
Mhm.
Cash My Balls right now are 0-7. I want to say, yeah, they haven't won any games yet. So interested to see if they're going to win a game here. And then I have Show Me Your TDs versus Hill Mary Poppings.
Falcons.
So that's going to
Okay.
be interesting to see how Genevieve Gadet is going to be able to play because she's the quarterback for this division. So it's also well, she's her and Patrick St. Martin have been kind of going switching left and right. So I'm also curious to see who's going to be a quarterback for that game. But
Right.
interested to see if they're going to get a win there, or if they're going to let Show Me Your TDs get a higher chance to make playoffs.
All right. I got the 13 seed one Niners. Sorry, one Niners who are sitting at 2-4, taking on the 6 seed Shaquille Oatmeal, who sit at 5-2. This matchup is taking place this Sunday in Laval. So a big game for both teams again, looking to really solidify their spot in the playoffs.
Nice. Okay. Quadu.
Yep.
Quad 2. So kind of looking at Quad 2. So one game I kind of was looking at right away, and that happened yesterday, and that was Tea Party versus no pads, no helmets, just balls.
Yeah.
So Tea Party losing that game 38-33. Tea Party, again, we talked about it a bit. They're struggling. They're struggling, but they are 3-4. So I mean, they're still in a playoff race. I believe just looking at the standings, I want to say they're like 11. Yeah, they're number right now. They're number 12. The number 12 and 14 teams make it, so they're still fine. Going down to their last couple games in their schedule, coming down to it, they have 3 games left. They play McNuggies, Kamikaze, and Mavericks. So they play 3 really tough teams. So they don't have any easy matches anymore. They kind of have to win out, or at least win. Win out would be nice, but they at least have to win at least two to 1 to 2 games if they actually want to make a playoff. If they actually want to make the playoffs. Looking at the standings right now, as I was saying, they're number 12, and they have Easy Fun. The injury reserves are 2-6 and 2-5. So any of those, and then they have Sour Patch Kids all day, every day. So any of those teams end up getting an extra win, they can start bumping teams out. So for them, they're definitely gonna have to start winning some games. And then another game I also kind of looked at was for week 10 was we thought they were Snacks versus Mixolodge. So again, Mixolodge is
Yeah.
a back-to-back defending co-ed 2 champion. So they dropped that game 46-32. So big win for we thought they were Snacks, where we had Alex Sass. I don't know. Pronounce his last.
Zalewski.
Yeah. So we had him at
Zalewski.
doing a great job. To be honest, he did a good job in co-ed 1. So I'm not surprised that his team is 5-2 in co-ed 2. I believe they lost last year in co-ed 2 as well too. They lost in the semis or maybe the finals. I know in co-ed, I'm pretty sure he had a team in co-ed 2 last year as well too. So the fact that they beat Mixology 46-32 is not as surprising, but I mean they're doing their job.
Well, so I'll tell you. So that game, 'cause I was in Broussard on Sunday. So Mixolage, they were without the two same brothers. So Tristan, the quarterback, he didn't
Oh, they're
play.
missing
Neither
both
did.
the brothers again. Okay,
Sorry.
they're missing both the brothers again.
Yeah. So Tristan, the quarterback, and Lucas. So that's a because Lucas was there. I saw when I was scorekeeping on Sunday, my second game. So it was 2 box. We talked about it on the first episode. Their game got canceled. So they started practicing on the field. So I walked by, I was saying bye. So I was talking to Chris Rivet, said bye to him. And then I went over to see Jason Leclerc, the referee, on field I think it's number 3 or number 1. I always forget when I get to Broussard, furthest field to the left. And so I saw Alexandre LeBlanc sitting on the bench next to Lucas Toussaint before their game. So I figured they're going to play or waiting on the rest of the teammates to come. But looking at the box score, Lucas didn't play, but I know he was in attendance for sure. But I did not see Tristan, the quarterback, there at all. So Zachary Broussard, who plays in the Proxen in the 5v5 division we're talking about, one of the 5v5 competitive, sorry. He subbed in at quarterback. Threw 4 TD passes, which is pretty good, but it's a different offense and a different team, right? When Tristan's there, as we've
Yeah,
seen at quarterback, a huge reason why they're back-to-back champs. But they fell, like we said, this past week, losing 46-32 to we
I
thought
didn't. So
they were.
the both losses for Mixology, they didn't have their starting quarterback. So that's kind of
That's true.
that's
That's true.
interesting to
And
kind of look at it.
yeah, but that's it. And you know, so for I know we're getting ahead here talking about games of the week. For me, like it's gonna be Mixology against Venom. That's taking place this Sunday, right? It's Venom squad, right? I mean, it's no joke. I mean, you got Paul Lapierre obviously leading the way on that team, and he knows what he's doing. And I'm gonna be interested to see who they have at rush. Paul can rush, and his wingspan would actually be a great idea. But I imagine it'd probably be Jackson, Jason Vixamar, 10 sacks in the regular season, right? He's going to have his hands full if Tristan is back in the lineup for this Mixolage squad.
Yeah. Jason's fast though.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a
That
fast
is
guy.
true. That is true.
I
It's
don't
gonna be
know.
a team with a lot of speed against guys with a team with a lot of height, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't want to say he's faster than Tristan because Tristan's also speedy fast too. But I think that's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah.
I think we'll see both these guys kind of go at it. Because again, Tristan, the biggest thing for Tristan is he's comfortable when he knows he can beat the rusher, and that's most quarterbacks, right? When you know you
Yeah.
can beat the rusher, you know your legs come in a big factor. When you cannot beat the rusher, the game plan has to change because you don't have those opportunities where you get into 3rd and 5. You're like, oh, I can run for the first down. No, buddy. You gotta make a throw, and it's to a point where Paul's smart enough to tell his rusher, okay, rush this way, or we're gonna have someone come down. Like Paul's a smart guy. Paul's not there to kind of sit back and let things happen. Like he's gonna help out his team. And I think that's the reason why right now, especially at offense, he's doing a great job. But it's the reason why they're 7-1 and they're playing how they're playing right now.
So that game's gonna be Sunday. It's Steady Bear. I'm also excited in that matchup to see quickly. So Alexandra LeBlanc talked about her before. Like she's one of my favorite female players to watch. Like she has great hands. She's tough. She's really good on defense too. Going up against Eunice Futzel. Futzel. I saw her play a few weeks ago. I talked about her. She's a thick sister. She's tall though too, right? So she can make a lot of plays. I think it's a team where Mix Lodge has a lot of guys who aren't and ladies who aren't the tallest, but they're fast as heck. Versus Venom, who Don Shepard's tall. Eunice is tall. Obviously, Paul. He's tall. Paul, I think he's the tallest guy in FPF. Maybe after Isaiah and Ezekiel, right? So it's gonna be speed against length. It's gonna be interesting to see and there's a lot of playmakers, a lot of even the players who aren't talked about as much, like Heidi Lynch, right? She's a baller. She can play. A lot of the players we talked about throughout the year or so we've been on this podcast from Mixolodge. Again, they have a really deep squad with a lot of chemistry. It's the reason why they're back-to-back champs. So it's gonna be interesting to see going up against a Venom team with some veterans, but together as a group, still kind of in its infancy.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see how that game's gonna go. Let's go co-ed 1.
Yep.
So co-ed 1, looking at the schedule that kind of just happened week 10, we had 3 games. Well, so we had 3 games. Fit Squad beats les Gardes de Touque. Plenty of Fish beats the IG team. So that's a huge win for Plenty of Fish.
Yeah.
And then Plenty of Fish was supposed to play Les Gardes de Touque, but again, unfortunately, that game is going to be canceled. So big shout out to Plenty of Fish getting their first win of the season. IG team struggling right now. They're 0-5.
Yep.
5 games left. Looking at their schedule, they play Leganza Took next, Lego My Flag, Fit Squad, Plenty of Fish, and Leganza Took. So, I mean, they get Leganza Took twice, they get Plenty of Fish once, and they get Fit Squad. So, they're looking at the back end. They play versus kind of the bottom teams. Plenty of Fish, again, not the best team. Leganza Took, not the best team right now. Fit Squad, not the best team. Lego Flag's probably one of the higher teams up there. So, I mean, anything is possible for them. I don't think it's a panic thing yet. The fact that the Gonza Took is 1-5 and Plenty of Fish 1-5, and out of those 2 teams, you're playing one of them twice and one of them once. So again, tiebreakers are a factor. So at least you get to play those teams again. So you can kind of get them to you got to get them you got to catch up to their record. Sorry, I thought I disconnected. So yeah, so it's a good situation for them for that. The fact that they don't have, at least they don't have to play the merge twice or the silly goose twice, where now they kind of their playoff future is in their hands.
Yep.
Compared to they played other teams, it would be a different factor. So that's kind of interesting to see. Shout out to the Plenty of Fish though. I saw Mode Lacasse catch. I think she did like a post, but Dylan put a good ball down for her. And then also Theo Jaya is kind of back. He kind of wrote he posted a little story, him mossing Jordan Alexi. Not mossing, but like kind of just taking the ball from him. And then he wrote he wrote a thing. He wrote what was this thing? It was ankles. No, he said dime from number 7. He was talking about Dylan. It's a caption. I'm for number 7. Ankles feel good. Our ankles are back. Welcome to the uncle something. I don't know. I forgot what it was. Like, you know when someone goes on tour, what do we call it when you go on tour? What do you call it? Welcome to the last show, like the last. Let's just right.
Okay.
If,
No, no.
if it's your last show, like let's just say you're retiring, you're not gonna do any show.
Finale. Your I don't know. Your finale. Your
Yeah, exactly. Like when people announce like their retirement and they're like, "Welcome to the."
yeah.
Anyway, so he kind of like welcome thing. Anyways, it was I like the caption. It was funny. It
I
was good. But it was
okay.
nice to see. It seems
I'm
like
so I'm surprised if this is his swan song. I mean, I caught up with him on Monday at Saint Laurent. He's watching Dylan play
yeah.
on the 35 plus, and he didn't seem like he was going to be retiring anytime
No,
soon. Field.
I don't think he's retiring. I don't think he's retiring,
Okay.
but I think he's saying like I'm back. You know, like he's healthy. I'm back. You know, like well, like
Okay. Farewell to retirement or whatever. Okay,
more
sure.
not retirement, but like more like welcome back to the show type of thing. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
So
He has the time off now. He's back. He's pulling the mace. Welcome back. All right.
yeah, exactly. A bit
Okay.
older now, but it seems like
Yeah.
he still has it. You know, he saw him sub for no regard as well too. He had a good game, and then again now he's making plays in what. So
Nice.
good to see you back.
Okay.
Good to see you healthy, Theo.
Yeah.
So going into week 11, any games that kind of stick out to you, or any
Yeah,
games?
man. I think listen, it's a heavyweight matchup coming up, man. Heavyweight matchup coming up next Wednesday, Chateauguay, 10:15 p.m. Lego my flag. The number 2 seed, 5-1, taking on the number 1 seed, 7-0, the merge 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
To the top two of the not two of the two top teams in co-ed one going head to head next Wednesday.
Yeah, indeed. I have a question for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of off topic a bit. Okay, if I say dynasty, okay, what
Yeah.
teams speak out to you? Like what
I'm
if I
fine.
say dynasty? What teams? Like
Yeah.
if you had to say 5 teams, an
Yeah,
FPF, an
I got
FPF
you. I got you.
dynasty. What are dynasties for you?
I
Who's your
got you. So teams that have won at least doing at least like so it's not the NFL where it's once every it comes once a year and you have an off season of like 4 or 5 months, whatever the case may be, from February basically to August/September. So obviously winning 2 or more Super Bowls is a dynasty, I'd say. And FPF because the season sometimes there's a day between seasons. I hope that's not the case this year. Jeff, we love you, but let's have at least a week off before we go from the winter season to the fly season. That's just not me saying that. I've talked to multiple players and referees as well who feel the same way. Having like 1 week off would be great. Um, yeah, so I think, man, I think winning at least, I want to say on a double, so at least 4 championships. 3 to 4 championships considers for me as a dynasty. You're gonna have the Braves, you're gonna have the original Montreal finest team in there. Um, the Hurricanes from back in the day, they won a number of championships. Yeah, teams like that. I would say I talked about them before. Maybe the Alpha T's because they would dominate like Division 3 in that back in I think Division 2 as well. I think they won at least 3 championships. Yeah, so it's Sub Zero.
okay?
Obviously, that would be a
If
dynasty
if,
team.
if you don't win a
Yeah,
championship, if you don't win a championship, do you think you're still a dynasty? So if like flag one,
absolutely not. If you don't win anything, you're not a dynasty at all. Absolutely not.
but
Absolutely not. You have
so
to win to be a dynasty.
okay, would you consider flag one a dynasty team? They've
No,
won a few championships.
a few is great. When's the last time they won a championship?
5v5, first championship.
Okay, so okay. Well, yeah, they won 5 before. Before that,
I don't know.
it's a while. I think they were either the first when we came back from COVID or the last before COVID, if I remember correctly.
I know
Gotta
they were
double.
the
I gotta.
first team to win 5v5. They were the first team to win a 5v5
Okay,
championship in
that
FPF.
doesn't make you a dynasty because
No,
you're the
I'm
first team
saying
to win.
I'm not saying it makes them a dynasty, but I'm just saying like they've been in the league forever. I feel like they've been in the league for
They're a pillar. Like they're one of the faces of the league as far as teams go. Like they have the tenure to be a championship in terms of how long they a dynasty in terms of how long they've been there. But you've got to win at least, like I said, 4 championships.
I feel like
You know,
they've won 4 championships. Like I wish
so
they
they
had
have
the
okay.
I wish they had
Well, yeah, we could, so okay, you let me know what you think. I'm gonna look here at the accolades section here,
So they've
and
been
see.
Flagmon's been in the league since 2013.
They've been there for a long time. Hell yeah, they're
Hell yeah.
champions. Here we go, right here. So you keep going. I want to look this up just to see. And of course, for now the website's not working.
Well, I was trying to look at Alex needed Pease, but the championship thing doesn't show yet. So it's kind of based on him, right? Like I'm assuming if he wins the championship, usually it's with Flag Moi. But I know for a fact, I know they have one championship, and I know it's 5-5. Because I watched them win that game. But
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah,
I saw that game. I heard you 100%. I saw that
so
game. I'm just trying to think, have they won anything else? Like I
I'm sure.
remember they beat So I had this conversation about 2 years ago. They beat somebody, and I just can't remember if it was like just before COVID or just after COVID where they won a championship. I can't remember, but I think it's only been two. I think they only have two championships, if I'm not mistaken.
I know
Maybe three.
they're the team that's like you. It's weird, right? Because they were in the era of Montreal Finest. Um,
Yeah.
what's that team?
Mhm.
Panda. No, what do you call it? D Boys. Montreal Finest D
Yeah, yeah,
Boys.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you had
yeah.
that, and then you had like
Mhm.
Alcoholics. I think won one championship there, but they're kind of like so Montreal Finest D Boys, and then you would have Flag Moi ish, and there was like an era team. They were kind of Rainmakers also sometimes would also do something too as well
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
but so they're kind of overlooked. Okay, my question really before I even got to Dynasty, do you think if the merge win co-ed one again, do you
Mhm.
consider them a co-ed dynasty?
How many championships would that be for them?
They would win back to back to back. So three, but that's
Yeah,
back to back to back.
yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, if in succession, yes, 100%. You name me another sport where a team wins back to back to back. You're not thinking they're a dynasty. Again,
Yeah,
flag
no,
football is
no,
different because the seasons are so close together. But this run of dominance by them, yeah, if they win back to back to back, yeah, 100%. I know I've been saying four all along, but I'll make the exception for a team that's won three championships in a row. You look at the Braves, right? They won a couple of championships in a row. They're a dynasty. Montreal's finest, dynasty. A team like Flamont Sack, again, I respect these guys, like Francois Richelieu, Alex Nadeau-Puig, Sam Nadeau-Puig, those guys, again, phenomenal players. But they're always a bridesmaid. They would always find a way to lose in the semifinals or lose in the finals. I think they're known more for that besides winning that fight. Okay, the 5v5 championship aside, respect for that 100%. But if you take that away, I think lately over the last 5 to 6 years, they've been known more for losing close games, sometimes not by their fault at all. Um, in like the semifinals or whatever against against the finest at the time, against the Braves, and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
I've seen some calls go against them where it's like, I don't know about that. But again, if the game should have come down to one call, but it is
No,
what it is. Anyways, answer your question. I don't consider Flamand Sack. I consider them a pillar of FPF. They're one of the teams who helped grow the popularity of the league. But do I consider them a franchise? No, I don't. They lack the championships to do it.
okay. So if the merge win, so what happens if the merge lose? They're not a dynasty
I don't think so.
then. Okay,
They're close. They're
they're
close.
close to
Okay, if they
dynasty,
lose
but
this one and they come back and they win co-ed one in the summer, then you know what? We could talk again about the
I,
conversation.
I feel like
We can have the
this
conversation again.
season I think if you win this season, I mean, like Coed has been pretty impressive the last couple of seasons, even though there are only 7 teams. I mean, you have the top teams right now, right? You have the IG team, right? Yeah, they're struggling. Plenty Fish has been for a while. Fit Squad's getting better. You have a powerhouse, the Silly Goose, right now. Where you have Kevin Wyatt and you have his posse, which pretty much you have Emerson, you have Gab, you have Rochelle, you have Emma, you have PG.
Did you say it's posse?
His posse, yeah. Kevin is
I
posse.
haven't heard that word in so long. Nice. All right.
Kevin is posse. But I mean by like you see
Go
Kevin
from
Wyatt
town to
and
town.
you see what he has that what he has he's working with. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
posse. But and then you have Lego My Flag, which they have a good roster, and then you have the merge. So I mean, like winning a winter again, as we said, winter is it's a hard,
It's a tougher season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So winning there, I think it makes sense. But then if you go back in the summer and you only have 5 teams, you win a championship. Like I mean, it's different because I don't. Maybe Co-ed 1 is probably not going to have this many teams. So I think this is the year where this is the season where if the merge win, I think this will be their most impressive season in Co-ed 1. If they win
I mean, okay, I can't say you'd be wrong on that. I mean, it could be their most impressive season for sure. I mean, I would say in the winter is the hardest season, but this past summer, I don't know. You know more than I do about co-ed. You've played co-ed when I haven't. Like I think Division A or Division co-ed 1 in the summer was pretty tough as well, right? Am I wrong to think that?
So looking back at the fall, I think the problem with Co-ed 1,
Not the fall, like the spring season. Well, fall I guess too, but spring season I found was pretty stacked with teams.
Fall or spring.
I'm thinking spring, but I mean, yeah. If you which one do you think was tougher, fall or summer? I think it was summer, but maybe I'm wrong.
So fall there's only 5 teams. So I mean,
Okay, yeah, so it's not as tough.
It's not that impressive. And spring, looking back at it for spring, there was.
I feel like it was more teams.
X's for. I'm putting it right now. I want to say there was. So for spring, there was 6 teams.
Right.
There were 6 teams, and they played us in the finals, but we were only 5 players.
Okay.
I want to say was that. No, wait.
I remember scorekeeping a game, and I think it was like on my flag where there was like AJ, there was Jalen Dreves.
Who did they play in the finals? Who won that finals? Did they play Plenty of Fish in the finals? I can't see the finals that year. Well, playoffs. Wait, let's see here.
I mean, it's whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Again, to answer your
I know
question,
they won. I know the merge won. I just don't remember who they played against.
all right. Well, we'll get back. We can get back to that either this weekend. Next doesn't matter. But anyways, to answer your question, yes. If the merge 2.0 win another championship, I consider them a dynasty, 100%.
Nice. Perfect. Women's 3.
All right. Do you consider them a dynasty if they win 3?
Yeah, but I'm a bit biased because my problem was that again last year I think they played us. They played us. They played us. I'm trying to go back, but I think last they played us, we're only 5. So I mean, 6 versus 5. I mean, like, yeah, you guys won, but 6 versus 5, like, it's not really a win. I don't see it like that. And then the year before that, they beat. I forgot who they played in the finals. I think they beat. Did they? Who did they play in the finals last season?
Go back and play.
Back to I'm saying, if they win this year, I think this would be their biggest championship. Are they a dynasty? The fact, at the end of the day, yes, you did win your 2 other last year championship, whatever. You won 6 or 5, you still won. At the end of the day, you made it work. The year before that, you guys won, so you're doing something right. But I think this year would actually make it like, if they lose, it's to a point where like, okay, maybe you guys weren't as good as you are. But I think if you win this year with Kevin Wyeth in this division, with Jeff also back in this division, with IG team in the division, Fit Squad is getting better in this division. You're playing versus basically all the good teams that are in this division right now. So I think if you do win it this year, I think I would say they're a dynasty.
Okay.
Women's 3. So schedule, women's 3. We had one game this week. A-Town versus CCL. So the Demonics. Dynamics. They won 27-6. So A-Town kind of took care of business here. The week before that, they actually played again and they won 26-8. So not much has changed. One team scored 2 more points. Other team scored 1 more point. One team scored 2 less points, other team scored 1 more point. So nothing crazy. Then tonight we also have Spartans versus A Town, but that game is going to be forfeited. Sorry, not forfeited. This game's going to be
Yeah, so,
rescheduled.
yeah.
Going into week 11, you have Lioness versus Lehibu. So again, hopefully Lioness can score some points here. They've been kind of struggling. I want to see them score at least 12 points. If they can score 12 points, it'd be amazing. She Sparks versus Spartans. So I was pretty high on Spartans this year. But She Sparks beat them 46-0. So I'm very curious to see how this
Yeah.
rematch is going to be. And then She Sparks versus A Town. I think that's also going to be a
Yep.
good game as well. How She Sparks are going to go, how She Sparks are going to compete versus A Town, because right now
Yeah.
it seems like A Town is the sorry. It seems like A Town and Lehibu are two of
And
the favorites, but She
yeah.
Sparks they're making some
Well,
noise.
she starts with 2 points back of A-Town, right? Like in the
Yeah,
standings. Yeah. So
yeah.
separated by one game, so should be good.
Interesting to see. I want to see She Sparks versus Spartans first to see if that game was a fluke or not, and then She Sparks versus A Town. If She Sparks blow out Spartans again, like even if it's like let's just say 20-6, win by double digits, I'm gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
She Sparks are the real deal, and then if they can make a competitive game versus A Town, She Sparks might be back in business. Like again, they're a
Yeah,
team
yeah.
they're a new team. I think this is their third season. I want to say their third season. They've been in the league maybe 4 seasons now, and it seems like they're getting better. They're still in women's three. They're developing. They're doing what they are. They have their coaches helping them out. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna compete in women's three this year. How they're gonna end up finishing with the Hebrew and A Town being two teams, two powerhouse teams, especially in a women's college right now, because both these teams play for college for flag, and it's kind of little practice for them before their season. So it's gonna be interesting to see when playoffs do start and how She Sparks are gonna perform, because they are no, I think they lost in the finals versus what's the other women's team name? The women's two right now. There's She Sparks and there's
Turf Titans.
Turf Titans. Yeah, so I think Turf Titans won the last time or the past 2 times, right? I think they beat She Sparks. So maybe She Sparks could finally get one since Turf Titans is gone.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Women's two.
All right. Yeah, it's good women's too. So I got the schedule here in front of me. One game is supposed to be played tonight, which is canceled, obviously. Cavaliers BDEB taking on the Wolfpack. That was supposed to be tonight at 10:15 in Laval, but of course, because of the weather outside, that game has been canceled, rightfully so. Looking at the rest of the chaos here, the rest of the madness, there are 8 games taking place. The action starts Saturday and goes all the way to next Sunday. Um, at this past week, though, we did have a couple games that were played. Most of them were blowouts, with the exception of 2. Vanier Cheetahs 25-19 over Powerpuff. So that was a close game. And Old School getting the W. Congrats, ladies. 19-14 over the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I watched that game. It was entertaining. I thought
Yeah.
Cavaliers were going to win that game. To be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
um, the first half did not do so well. The second half, Cavaliers were kind of moving. Uh, Ended up Old School kind of holding it down last couple drives where they ended up coming out with a win. But Cavs looked pretty good. First half didn't look good at all. Second half they looked really good. So they definitely could compete. I'm not the only thing I'm not sure about is that the quarterback the Cavs were playing with. I was talking to Emma about it, and I'm not sure. It's right now they have Amy Hugges Amy Hughes. Um, I don't think
Here,
she's not the yeah. So it's her and Adriana um, Valentin. She's usually the
okay.
quarterback. So Amy Hughes, I think she usually doesn't play quarterback. I think this was her second game playing as well. She usually plays defense. I want to say, might be wrong. Or no, she plays defense. Right, wrong. Yeah, she plays. Yeah, she's usually playing defense, but she played quarterback that game. So
Mhm.
I guess the other quarterback wasn't there. She's pretty good. I'm not. I don't think maybe I personally think she's better than the starting quarterback, but again, that's just me because I've seen both quarterbacks play. Not I've seen more the last like the game they played versus old school. I watched the whole game compared to other games where Adriana was quarterback. So, but I think she's better. I'm not exactly sure. Um, well, Adriana was just not there. That's why Amy played. But interesting to see how they're going to move forward. But yeah, they play Nomads next too, so that's going to be a very hard challenge. If you look, but I think it's kind of funny, right? So they played Old School, they almost beat them, they lose 19-14, and then they play The Rock, and then Amy plays quarterback, and then she doesn't score. So again,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, you almost beat Old School where they're like 6-0, and you almost ruined the perfect record, and then you come in, you play versus The Rock, and you don't score any points. So
Yeah. So you know what I say? I want to give a shout out to the Rock. These ladies started off 0-6 the year. It looked like it was going to be another tough season like it was this past fall. Hey, they won two in a row. Shout out to these ladies. They won two in a row. So like I said, 21-0 over the Cavaliers on Sunday. And then the Monday before that, so March 2nd, they knocked off Blue Legacy 25-12. So listen, hey, two wins in a row for these ladies. Congrats to them. They have Valhalla coming up next Wednesday, and then they finish out the regular season against the Van Cheetahs all the way in April. So they they have their next game on March 18th, and then they have like a month off, and then they play their last game of the year. I mean, hey, that's the schedule for you, unfortunately.
that
So again,
that might
sorry,
benefit them at the end of the day, right? Because
it
they
could.
might realize like it might be do or die for them to a point where if they play the two games earlier on, where they would have like let's just say they're 2-8, they're 2-6, sorry. So let's say they played both their games. Well, I mean, if they won both their games, I think they would be fine. But now let's just say they lose their next game and they go 2-7, most likely all the other teams are gonna be playing all their games. Like they should be most of them should
True,
be done. So it's gonna be a point
true.
where
It's just
they're gonna know how much points they're gonna have to they're gonna know if they're gonna need to win or not. Most likely they're probably gonna have to win. But also the points against might have a big factor too. So they're like, okay, well, we have to win. We have to make sure the team doesn't score more than 24 points in us, or we're gonna get bumped out. So it could be an advantage for them.
yeah. That's it, right? Because you look right now, they're in 12th, right? The Rock have that final 12th and final playoff spot, but they're tied for points with the Bolts, who sit at 2-5 with 4 points, and Turf Titans, who sit at 2-5 as well, with 4 points, right? So I mean, if you're the Rock, you're gonna have to make sure you try to get a win, and at least one of those final games. Again, it's tough sledding. It's
Mhm.
tough. Like they're playing a 4-4 Valhalla team, right? And
24
then they
points.
have an equally as tough 4-4 Van Cheetahs team.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for them. It's a good thing they won the last two games. It's a huge win
Yeah,
for them, both the games.
yeah,
Beating Cavaliers 21-0, and then beating the Blue Legacy 25-12. Huge wins for them, much needed as well.
It's funny. So I just want to give a quick shout out as well to the sorority beating the Powerpuff team 47-0. Again, whenever you shout out a team in FPF, you deserve a shout out. Great job by the sorority. Let's look at the game stats here.
Yeah, I watched that game too.
Yeah, okay. Well, Kathleen Schnick, 6 touchdown passes. Gabrielle Mongray, 117 yards, 3 TDs, and they got a pick six, along with 3 INTs from Gabrielle Mongray. So she had four combined touchdowns in the game. And yeah, player of the game and defense deserves a game ball as well.
Yeah, no, she had a great game. I feel bad for the Power Pluff, to be honest with you. It would have been nice to see them in Division Three, women's three, to see how they would
Yeah.
compete. Because right
Mhm.
now they're struggling. Like I don't like I personally, again, I haven't seen what was the last game? They play Old School and they play Bolt, so they're not going to beat Old School. They play Bolts. I haven't seen Bolts play. Um,
Yeah, 2-5 though right now, man. I don't know. Like for Powerpuff, they have 41 points scored over 8 games. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
again, I don't see them winning it. Like
that was
again,
gonna win the game.
I haven't seen Bolts play, so I can't be like, oh, you're going to beat them because I haven't seen them play, and the Bolts just lost last time both they played Old School, they lost 38-0. So again, that's a team that could also be struggling to a point. But
Yeah,
Powerpuff they're really struggling right now.
they're averaging less than 6 points a game. So
Yeah, 2 points a game. Oh, sorry, they
yeah,
have
they're averaging
41.
yeah, they're averaging like 5.1
Yeah,
points per
5 points a
game.
game. Yeah. But again, it would have been interesting to see them in women's three. I think they would be able to
Yeah,
compete a bit more. It seems like they're still having fun. Like again, I watched a bit of
yeah,
their game last week. A couple of the girls had a couple catches. They're cheering it on. A couple missed tackles there and there. They tried to make some plays, made some tackles, stopped some touchdowns as well. So I mean, they're still having fun. It just would have. I think they would have had a better time in women's three this year.
yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, I give them props. They try to. I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to push themselves. They said, okay, we'll try women's too. Though I don't know anybody on this team, so I don't know. Maybe they weren't sure who was going to be in women's two, so they decided to go in women's two. Or they didn't know who was going to be in women's three, so they decided to go to women's two. And
Yeah, whatever. It
yeah,
happens.
learning
It is what
experience.
it is.
Learning
You finish
experience.
the season, and you just try to make sure you don't get into your same. You try to make sure you don't get in the same situation. But again, it's learning experience.
There you go.
Um,
All right,
so
let's wrap
I
it
think
up.
that's pretty
Women's
much
one.
it for women's. Yeah,
Or
exactly. Unless you have any games of the week for week 11. Any
oh yeah,
games?
my bad, sir. To be honest, sorry, my bad. I thought I had talked about it before. My apologies there. Thank you, sir. Yeah, looking at it quickly here. So Chaos and Dream Killers. I mean, that looks like an interesting matchup. Dream Killers, a veteran squad. Again, I'm gonna switch gears here. I'm gonna go with. I want to see. Um, want to see Valhalla against The Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, Valhalla sitting at 4-4. The Rock now starting to put together 2 wins in a row. I want to see if they can keep that momentum going. And that match is taking place next Wednesday in Laval.
Okay. Um, okay. So I have Supernova versus Vanny Cheetahs, and that should be a good game.
Yep,
Vanny
yep,
Cheetahs
yep.
are 4-4, and Supernova are why is it not opening here? I think they're 3-5. Can't see it. It's not opening, but yeah. So Supernova is five
Yep,
and three. So I
three.
definitely that should be a good game to also watch. Let's go into
All right.
women's one.
Yeah, women's one. So two big things to know from last week. Okay, so there's a game tonight. It's supposed to be Sub-Zero Matrix. That would have been a must-watch game. Of course, again, because of the horrible weather outside, that game's canceled. We did see an upset though. Subs for the Cayenne actually beating Sub-Zero, laying a beat down by the score of 27-7 in that game. Of course, Sub-Zero missing a lot of their top end players. Sarah Parker wasn't there, so she was replaced by Genevieve Fortier. Sabrina Gervais not there, among others, right? So, I, not to say the B squad for Sub Zero, because some of these ladies can still ball, but not at full strength, taking out a Cayenne team. But again, Cayenne too, right? Missing some of the top players as well. So Annie Tyers, like I see, was more than capable of playing quarterback. She filled in 4 touchdown passes for this team. Chloe Samard had a big game, 11 catches, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. So that's pretty solid by her. But again, both teams unfortunately missing some of their top end players due to trials, right? For not trials, but tournament for Team Canada.
Yeah, so it's their camp. So like they
Yeah, they
basically
can't be. Yeah.
they're there for a couple days, like a week, well, team bonding stuff like that, and they're preparing for I think Germany. I think they're going to Germany in like July. Yeah, they're going to Germany in July. So you pretty much have like
Okay.
20 of the best females that are there, and what's kind of crazy to say that 20 of the best females, 18 of them are from Montreal, and they are from Quebec, Montreal, and they all play in the league. So yeah,
Yeah, 100%. And
so
so shout out to the ladies that come out to replace the missing players. We're at 27-7 at halftime, and then nothing was scored in the second half. A bit weird considering there's still some really good players that were on the field in that game. Obviously, players like Jasmine Farmer, Sarah Cormier was there, so Laurie was there. Shout out to Laurie. She played, like I said before, Chloe Samar, Maria Manseri. So a lot of good players still. And these Tires legacy still on the field, but unfortunately, no points were scored in that second half. But it
mhm,
happens sometimes.
yes, sir. Quick shout out to Sherbrooke as well too. I don't think I gave him a shout out last week, but they won their first game of the season versus Cayenne. Even though Cayenne was a bit. Actually, no, I kind of talked to Laurie about it, but just to kind of give them a shout out again, they won their first game of the season, so it's nice to see. And then,
Yep.
yeah, what touch is pretty good though. That Sub-Zero in the Matrix game tonight did get kind of canceled because and they came back. The girls came back on Monday, same as the guys, or yesterday, or maybe Sunday. So I'm pretty sure some of them are banged up or that. So maybe they would have had subs going that game. So the fact that it's rescheduled now, you should see two teams are like full force to kind of play versus each other.
Yeah.
When everything gets rescheduled. So sometimes it's a good thing.
The players getting involved is a rest tonight around the entire FPF
Yeah, exactly.
community.
I'm sure it's much needed for some players too. So
100%, 100%. Especially those with like turf burns on their elbows and stuff. And
yeah, it burns.
yeah,
I think
so
like burns.
so 2 games coming up. I think you mentioned they have Sherbrooke. So again, congrats to those ladies. Like I said, their first win of the season. It's always great to see. Taking on Blue Paul Saturday, this coming Saturday in Broussard.
Yeah.
And also in Broussard, 1 hour later. So that's at 7 o'clock. Sherbrooke is staying on the field, taking on the Matrix.
Yeah, that's gonna be two good games.
Game.
A little rematch for Blue Pod and that day off. Sherbrooke, the last matchup they had, Blue Pod won 40-14. So I'm sure Sherbrooke's gonna try to do a bit better than that. And then Ventura plays versus Matrix, a well-rested Matrix team. All the girls should be back, ready to get back into business. So that should also be a really good game.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. I think that wraps it up. Covered all the 5v5. We did all the co. We did all the ladies divisions as well. So a couple people who I had reached out to come on the pod told me they're available, but we'll get them for next week. I don't want to. I don't I have a surprise. I have a surprise for next week, so we'll see if we're able to pull that one together. And yeah. Sorry. Oh yeah. Sorry. Thank you, Ali. Yeah. So I did a poll on. I think I totally forgot about that. On Facebook a couple of days ago here. So again, at this time, by the time this comes out, it'll be too late for that. Again, a reminder, obviously the game's canceled tonight all over FPF. So we did a poll last week, right? Where I put on Facebook and I was asking people, what do you guys think is the hardest, going from hardest to easiest, ranked divisions in FPF? So going to hardest, obviously quarterback's going to be the number one choice for everybody. I mean, it's the hardest position in sports. It is what it is, right? That was no surprise. Coming in at second place, also not a surprise, was defensive back. So a lot of people choosing defensive back as their choice for as second hardest. They got 26% of the votes, got 37 total votes. Coming in at third was actually Rusher. So Rusher came in at third, got 12% of the votes, 18 people voted Rusher. Coming in at fourth was receiver. So that's kind of to be expected. Snapper. So at least on Facebook, at least I was able to put all the options. Snapper came in last, and then so Eagle ended up putting media commentators. It's a hard one. Alex La Roche has been in the league for a long time. He's a coach. He put coaching is one of the hardest ones in FPF. So again, quarterback.
It's sure. I forgot about those. Coaching is
It's true. So yeah, quarterback, defensive back, rusher, receiver, snapper, and then media commentator, just commentator, period, and then coach.
Again, I think
What
coaching.
were the what were the Instagram results? Okay. Okay.
So we have.
Okay.
Okay, so we have quarterback at 1, defensive back at 2. No, sorry. So quarterback at 1, rusher at 2, defensive back at 3, and then receiver at 4 for the people on Instagram. I think the hardest.
Sorry.
I think the hardest thing about, because I'm going back to the coaching, the hardest thing for coaching is when things are just going wrong and you don't know what to do.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's the
100%.
like I like now I'm in the coaching scene or whatever, flag, tackle, and like you have a game plan. You go in the game plan, like it's all structured. You have your play calling. I have my 10 plays I like. I did film on the team. And then nothing is working, and I'm just there, man. I'm just like, I don't know. My quarterback's listening, trying to get a play call. My offense coordinator is like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. Whatever we call does not work. I'm like, so you have to scratch
Right.
everything. So I think that's the most frustrating and like hardest thing to do when you're coaching, when you're kind of lost of words, compared to a player. You kind of be like, okay, it's only on you. But when you're coaching, like you're in charge of
100%.
10, 12, 15, 20, 30 people, so you have to make sure you're always locked
Yeah.
in and know what you're doing. So I found that
Yeah. I find too from coaching, I find like if I call a play, we've done it in practice and it works a zillion times. We've gone over it and over and over, and then we get to the game and the kids they mess it up, or someone makes a mistake, or they for some reason can't do it properly, or something happens on like with the offense, like if I'm calling a play and something happens with the defense that we're not expecting. It's also one of those things where the kids don't know how to adapt to. Even if they know what's coming, they still don't know how to adapt sometimes. And it's it's
yeah, that's
sometimes
frustrating.
it's
I think that's also
yeah.
that's super frustrating because like you're like just do it, like you could do it, and they just don't do it. And you're just like, oh, man.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. 100%. 100%. All right, man. I think that wraps it up here for this episode. Any final things, final thoughts?
No, just good luck for all the teams coming up this week. Unfortunately, again, rest up. If you didn't play on Wednesday, you play Saturday, Sunday. Enjoy the day off, and yeah, make sure you guys are all playoffs eligible. So make sure all your players get their 5 games. It becomes an issue if for some reason if you have a doctor note for someone, send it in now. Don't wait until the last minute and be like, oh hey, because it happens all the time, and it becomes a situation where maybe you won't get a response right away, and then you're kind of stressing for no reason. Just get that out the way right away. If you have it, send it, take care of it. So everyone's all good to go for playoffs.
100%. I will say quickly, I know we talked about it, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe both times. I got a couple of teams asking me about the onside rule. It's new teams, co-ed and some of the men's five should have mentioned this last episode as well. Again, make sure you guys know the rule books, please. So for the onside kits, I know Quaysie and I have gone over it in depth this season. You can only go for an onside after a touchdown. You can't have a 1 point or 2 point conversion and then get the ball back to go onside again. It's
Yeah,
your onside is your conversion attempt. You need to have a timeout to call an onside play. The
yeah.
ball
So
needs to pass midfield, whether you run it or you throw it. Somewhere, either way, it has to pass midfield. If you're bailed out by a penalty, that's something different. But ideally, you're throwing or you're running the football past midfield. That takes place instead of having a 1 or 2 point convo attempt.
yeah, and
So
you
hopefully that
and do
clears it up
not
because I was getting questions last week about that, and people were like, "I have no idea," and I was like, "It's week 9. There, you should kind of know by now."
and you don't have 2 onside attempts because you have 2 timeouts. That's not a thing. Okay, you have one
Yeah,
onside
exactly.
attempt, and
Yeah,
not because
one
you
per
have two
game.
timeouts, you can use 2 of them. No, you have one onside attempt, and
Yeah,
it's
one.
used
Yep,
for
one
one
outside
time,
of 10 per game.
only once.
Yeah, 100%. There you go.
All right.
All right. Like we said in the first episode, second episode, NFL free agencies here. A lot of moving parts with some of the players. I'm excited. It's my favorite time of the year, besides obviously when the football season starts, and ideally when it's a good Super Bowl, unlike this last one. But it is what it is. Sports are pretty good right now. I know Bam Adebayo, 83 points last night. I know Ali Reza is upset that his boy LeBron James didn't get those 83 points, but his former teammate Bam Adebayo with those 83 boy is coming in looking nice. I'm not a Heat fan, so I'm a Knicks fan. I hate the Heat, but I mean, 83 points is still 83 points. A lot of BS putting him to the line on purpose and whatnot, but
At the
83
end of the
points
day,
is still 83.
it is 83 points. It's still 83 points.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those. It's history, right? I mean, I remember the Kobe Bryant game against the Raptors, but that's a while ago. RIP to Kobe, obviously, but like it's still history to see, right? 83 points is nothing to spit at, right? I mean, it's still kind of cool.
Yeah, not many people could do it, and that's the reason why not a lot of people have 83 points or 82 points, 81 points. I think like it's not a thing. So people, you should be lucky enough to get 60. teams like guys that have been playing the league for so long to get 60, and even that you don't have that many, but you have way more than 2 or 3 people that hit the 80 mark.
I hear you. Totally outside of FPF. I'm going to give this a plug because I started watching the show last year and then season 2 came on. We should talk about this one time. TV shows that we watch when you actually do have time or I actually have time. Paradise. Either of you guys watched the show before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's a Hulu show. Let's get into it. I'm going to say it's Paradise. If those of you guys at home have watched Paradise, you know what I'm talking about. Season 2. Wow, so far. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. All right. I think that does it for this episode.
Yeah, that's it. I'm Quaysie. He's Brent.
Be good.